Cheeky, what's going on here? Adaura's voice trembled as she stood frozen at the door of their luxurious Lagos penthouse. Her husband, Cheek Obiano, one of the city's most respected young billionaires, was half naked, tangled in silk sheets with a woman Adaura had only seen once before. A woman who now smirked with the satisfaction of victory. What would you do if you walked in on this? Hit like if you've ever been betrayed and comment below where you're watching from. The air thickened with shock and perfume. Adora's hands shook, the grocery bag she carried tumbling to the floor, tomatoes rolling across the marble tiles. The other woman, sleek and confident, slid out of bed, wearing nothing but Cheek's white shirt. "Oh, don't look so surprised," she sneered. "He hasn't been yours for months." Adora's knees weakened. Cheek's voice broke through the ringing in her ears. "Ida, please. It's not what it looks like." "Not what it looks like?" She cut him off, her voice rising. "You're in our bed, Chike. With her." The mistress chuckled and stepped closer. "My name's Nandi," she said proudly, her South African accent slicing through the silence. "And unlike you, I know how to make a man feel alive." The words struck Adara like a slap. She turned, her tears mixing with fury. Outside, Lagos buzzed, horns blaring, life moving. Yet her own world had shattered. Chike reached for her arm. "Ada, listen. Don't you dare touch me," she snapped, pulling away. "I built this home with you. I carried your children. I stood beside you when no one believed in your dreams. And this is how you repay me?" Cheek's guilt turned to anger. "You were never there for me emotionally, Ada. All you cared about were the kids and your church programs. I needed more." Adora blinked, stunned. "You needed more? So you chose this?" She gestured toward Nandi, who smirked like a queen on her throne. The argument spiraled, words turning into wounds. Nandi's laughter echoed as Adora packed a small bag, refusing to let them see her cry again. Before she walked out, she turned to Chike one last time. "You'll regret this, I swear, Chike Obiano. You'll regret the day you let evil blind you." The door slammed behind her. Silence filled the apartment. Nandi touched Chike's shoulder, whispering, "Forget her. You're mine now." But Cheek's mind wasn't calm. He watched the door, uneasy, his instincts whispering that Adaora's words were not empty. Outside, Adaora stepped into the cool Lagos night, tears glistening under the streetlights. Her phone buzzed, an unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. A deep male voice said, "Madam Adora, I think you'll want to hear what I know about your husband's business." And that woman. Her heartbeat quickened. "Who is this?" The line went dead. Adara looked back at the penthouse window, her pain turning into cold determination. If Cheek thought betrayal ended tonight, he was wrong. It had only begun. Rain poured heavily over Lagos that night, blurring the city lights as Adara sat alone in her car, the mysterious phone call replaying in her head. Her hands trembled on the steering wheel. Someone knew something about Chike and Nandi. She drove aimlessly until she found herself parked outside her best friend's home in Lekki. Amaka rushed out the moment she saw Adora's tear-stained face. "Ada, what happened?" Adora's voice cracked. "I caught Chika, with that woman, the one from his office." Amaka gasped. "The South African girl?" Adora nodded. "She looked at me like she had already won." Inside, Adora sat on Amaka's couch, still gripping her phone. And then, "Someone called me. Said they have information about Chiki's business." They hung up before I could ask more. Amaka frowned. "Ada, that sounds dangerous. You need to be careful. Cheek's company deals with big contracts, politicians, money." Adaora's pain turned to anger. "If he's been cheating on me and lying about his business too, then I need to know everything." Meanwhile, in Victoria Island, Chike and Nandi celebrated their freedom. Nandi draped herself in a red silk robe, sipping champagne. "Forget her," Nandi purred. "She's gone for good. Now, let's talk about expanding the company in Johannesburg. I have people who can help." Chiki hesitated. "You're sure your people are clean?" Nandi smiled slyly. "Clean enough to make you richer." But what Cheek didn't know was that Nandi's people were already digging into his assets, preparing to take control of his accounts. Back at Amaka's, Adaora's phone rang again. The same unknown number. She answered quickly. "Hello? Who are you?" The voice replied, My name is Musa. I work with your husband. Nandi is not who she says she is. She's been moving money out of his company through a fake account. Adaura's breath caught. What? I have proof, Musa said. But if they find out I told you, I'm finished. Meet me tomorrow at Echo Hotel, 10 a.m. Don't tell anyone. The line went dead again. Adaura looked at Amaka, eyes wide. He said Nandi's stealing from Cheek. Amaka grabbed her hand. Ada, this could be dangerous. You should report it. Adora shook her head. No, I'll handle it myself. Chike destroyed my marriage, my peace, but he won't see what's coming next. That night, Adaora couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Cheek's betrayal, the laughter, the lies. But beneath her pain, something stronger began to rise. Resolve. At dawn, she stood before the mirror. The woman staring back wasn't broken anymore. She was ready for war. At the same time, Nandi sat beside Cheek in his car, whispering, by the end of next month, everything will be in our name. Everything? Cheek asked, smiling. Everything, Nandi repeated, kissing his cheek. Neither of them knew that Adaura was already one step ahead. She opened her phone and recorded a message. If anything happens to me, this recording must reach the media. She saved it, tucked the phone into her bag, and whispered to herself, You wanted war, Chike. You're about to get it. The morning sun rose over Lagos with a deceptive calm. Adaura arrived at Echo Hotel dressed in a simple navy gown, sunglasses hiding her tired eyes. She sat in a corner of the cafe, her heart racing as she scanned the room for Musa, the whistleblower who promised her the truth. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Finally, a nervous-looking man in his mid-30s approached. Madam Adaura, he whispered. She nodded cautiously. You're Musa? He sat quickly, glancing around as if being watched. Yes, I work in Cheek's accounting department. Please, don't tell anyone we met. Adaura leaned in. You said Nandi is stealing from my husband. How? Musa pulled out a flash drive. Every week she makes Chike sign fake invoices for non-existent South African clients. The money goes into a private account under a shell company, registered in her name. She's already moved over 500 million naira. Adaura gasped, clutching her chest. 500 million? Yes, madam. And she's using Chiki's signature. I tried to warn him, but he threatened to fire me. Adaura took the flash drive, her hands trembling. Why tell me? Musa hesitated. Because I've seen what she does. Men lose everything. One of her ex-lovers in Johannesburg was found ruined. Some say she blackmailed him before disappearing. Before Adaura could respond, a loud crash echoed behind them. Two men in black suits stormed into the cafe, scanning the room. Musa froze. Oh God, he muttered. They found me. Who are they? Adaura whispered. They work for Nandi, Musa hissed. She must have tracked my phone. Adaura grabbed her bag and stood up. Come on, we have to go. They darted toward the back exit, weaving through startled customers. Outside, the Lagos traffic blared. Perfect chaos for an escape. Musa shoved the flash drive into Adaura's hand. Keep it safe, he said. That's your husband's only chance of knowing the truth. Before she could reply, the men caught up. One of them pushed Musa hard against the wall. Adaura screamed, Leave him! Musa shouted, Run, madam! She did. Heart pounding, she dashed across the busy street, horns blaring, clutching the flash drive like her life depended on it. By the time she looked back, Musa was gone, dragged into a black SUV that sped off into the rain-soaked traffic. Adaura hid in a nearby market, trembling behind a fruit stand. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. Stay out of Nandi's business, Adaura. Next time you won't be so lucky. Fear chilled her blood. But then a new emotion took over. Anger. You can threaten me all you want, she whispered, but I'm not backing down. That night, Adaura connected the flash drive to her laptop. Files, bank statements, and incriminating emails filled the screen. She recorded everything on video. Cheek, she said into the camera, her voice steady. You left me for that woman. Now you'll see who she really is. Meanwhile, in their penthouse, Nandi answered a call with a smile. Yes, she has the drive. Don't worry, Kiki. I'll make Chiki believe she stole the money. She turned to Chike, stroking his chest. Your wife is trying to destroy you, baby. I warned you she was jealous. Cheek's face darkened. Then she'll pay for it. Rain lashed against the glass windows of the penthouse as Chike paced the living room, fury written across his face. She's accusing me of fraud, Nandi, he snapped. After all I've done for her. Nandi played innocent, sitting on the couch in a silk robe, her long legs crossed. Chika, you said it yourself. She's angry and desperate. She can't stand to see you happy. But this, he shouted, slamming a fist on the table, sending fake evidence to my partners? I could lose everything. Nandi walked up to him slowly, wrapping her arms around his neck. Don't worry, I'll handle it. Let's focus on our expansion plans in Johannesburg. You need to move the funds now before she freezes your accounts. Chike hesitated. You think she'd go that far? Nandi smiled darkly. A woman scorned will burn the world to ashes. You need to protect what's yours. Meanwhile, across town, Adara sat in her small apartment, eyes red from exhaustion. The flash drive sat on the table beside her laptop. She had already backed up the files to a cloud drive, proof that Nandi was the real thief. Amaka entered with a tray of tea. Ada, this thing is getting too dangerous. You need to take this to the EFCC or the press. Adora shook her head. No, not yet. I want Chiki to see the truth himself. I want him to feel the same humiliation he gave me. Just then, her phone buzzed. It was a call from her son, David, who was studying in Abuja. Mummy, Daddy said you stole from his company. He told everyone at the office. Adara's heart dropped. What? He said you hacked his computer and took millions. Everyone's saying you've gone mad. Tears filled her eyes as the truth hit. Nandi had flipped the story. Amaka grabbed the phone. David, listen to me. Your mum didn't steal anything. Don't believe your father's lies. After the call ended, Adara's expression hardened. They've turned everyone against me. Fine. Let's see how long they stand when the truth comes out. Later that evening, she went to meet her lawyer friend, Barrister Keene, at a quiet restaurant. She handed him the flash drive. Everything you need is in there. Fake contracts, offshore accounts, everything. But I want it handled carefully. Keene examined the files. This is serious, Ada. Once we submit this to the EFCC, both Chike and Nandi will be investigated. Adora nodded slowly. Good. Let them taste disgrace together. But as she stepped out of the restaurant, her phone pinged again, a video message from an unknown number. She tapped it open. It was footage of her teenage daughter, Kioma, leaving school. A masked man followed her into a car. Adaora's blood ran cold. Then a text followed. Return the flash drive, or you'll never see your daughter again. Her scream echoed through the night. The city of Lagos never slept. But that night, Adaora's world fell completely silent. Her phone shook in her hand as she replayed the text message. Kioma's face flashing on the screen, terrified, being forced into a car. Amaka gripped her shoulders. Ada, we have to call the police. Adora's breathing quickened. If we do, they'll hurt her. They said to return the flash drive. Amaka's voice trembled. Then give it to them, Ada. Your daughter's life comes first. But Adora shook her head slowly, tears streaming down her face. If I give this up, Nandi wins. She'll destroy Chiki completely, and I'll never get justice. Amaka knelt in front of her. Justice won't matter if Kioma doesn't come home. Adora sank to the floor, clutching her head. Oh God, what do I do? Meanwhile, in a secluded house outside Ikoyi, Chioma sat tied to a chair. A woman in dark sunglasses entered, the same confident smirk on her lips. Well, well, Nandi said softly. So you're the famous Kioma. You look just like your mother, too innocent to know how dangerous she is. Kioma's voice trembled. Please, let me go. My mum didn't do anything. Nandi crouched in front of her. That's where you're wrong, darling. She's been trying to destroy the man I love. Kioma's eyes widened. You mean my father? Nandi's smile twisted. He's my man now. Your mother had her turn. Back in the city, Adaora's phone rang again. The same unknown number. Have you decided, Mrs. Obiano? A male voice asked. Adaora's voice shook. Where is my daughter? She's safe, for now. Bring the flash drive to Elagushi Beach, 9 p.m. Come alone, no police, no friends. If we see anyone else, you'll regret it. The call ended. Amaka grabbed her arm. You can't go alone. I have to, Adora said firmly. If this is what it takes to save my child, then so be it. At 9 p.m., the beach was quiet except for the waves and the hum of distant traffic. Adara clutched the flash drive in her hand, her heart pounding like thunder. A black SUV pulled up. Two men stepped out. One of them said coldly, "Where's the drive?" Adara raised it slowly. "First, I need proof my daughter is alive." The man handed her a phone. Kioma appeared on video, crying, "Mummy, please, do what they say." Adora's tears fell as she placed the drive in the man's hand. "If you hurt her, I swear." But before she could finish, blinding headlights flashed from behind. Police sirens wailed. The men panicked. "It's a trap!" Amaka and Barrister Keene stepped out from another car, followed by EFCC agents. "Ada, down!" Amaka shouted. Shots rang out. Chaos erupted. One of the men tried to flee but was tackled by the officers. The other sped off toward the main road, carrying the flash drive. Adora screamed, "He's getting away!" But one EFCC officer turned to her. "Madam, we traced your daughter's location through the call logs. She's being held near Ikoyi. We'll get her." Adora dropped to her knees, overwhelmed. Back in the Ikoyi house, Nandi received a call. "Ma'am, we lost the drive. EFCC is involved." Nandi's expression turned cold. "Then it's time to disappear. But not before I make sure Adora loses everything she loves." She looked at Kioma and whispered, "Your mother just made a very big mistake." The morning after the chaos at Elagushi Beach, Lagos was buzzing with headlines. Billionaire Chike Obiano and South African Mistress under EFCC probe for fraud. Adara stared at the newspaper in disbelief. The photo on the front page showed Chike being questioned, his face pale and furious. But her heart wasn't celebrating. Kioma was still missing. She sat in Barrister Keene's office, her hands trembling as she held her daughter's picture. "Keene, they still haven't found her. It's been 12 hours. Keene's voice was calm but firm. "We've traced Nandi's calls to a property in Ikoyi. The EFCC is moving in quietly. We just need time." "Time?" Adora snapped, her eyes red with exhaustion. "That woman has my child. Every second counts." Keene placed a comforting hand on hers. "Ada, I know, but you need to stay strong. You're not the helpless wife anymore. You're the one holding all the truth." Meanwhile, inside an abandoned mansion in Ikoyi, Nandi stood by the window watching the rain. Chioma sat tied to a chair again, frightened but defiant. "Why are you doing this?" Chioma demanded. Nandi smirked. "Because your mother thinks she's smarter than me. But she doesn't understand. When you play with snakes, you get bitten." Chioma glared. "My mom isn't afraid of you." Nandi crouched beside her, her eyes cold. "She should be." Just then her phone rang. It was Cheek. "Nandi, what's going on? The EFCC froze my accounts. They're saying you created fake companies." Nandi laughed softly. "Calm down, my love. It's all under control." "Under control?" Cheek shouted. "They have evidence, emails, transfers. I could go to prison." "Relax," Nandi said coolly. "I can fix this, if you do exactly what I say. Bring your passport, the documents in your office safe, and meet me at the airstrip by 6 p.m. We'll disappear together before they arrest you." Cheek hesitated. "What about Adora?" Her smile turned venomous. "Forget her. She's finished." Back in the city, Adora's phone buzzed. It was the EFCC contact. "Madam, we've found the Ikoyi house. We're moving in now." Adora's heart leaped. "I'm coming with you." Minutes later, their convoy of police vans raced through the Lagos streets. Adora's grip on the seat tightened as they approached the gates of a rundown mansion. Officers moved silently, surrounding the building. A crash, then shouting. Inside, Nandi realized too late. The police were closing in. She grabbed Kioma, dragging her toward the back door. "Let me go!" Kioma screamed. Nandi raised a gun. "Quiet!" Before she could fire, a commanding voice rang out. "Drop it, Nandi!" EAFCC agents flooded in. Adora burst through the doorway, eyes locked on her daughter. "Kioma!" The girl broke free and ran into her arms, sobbing. "Mummy!" Nandi's eyes burned with rage. "You think you've won, Adora? You destroyed everything. You'll regret this." Officers tackled her to the floor, cuffing her hands. Adora stood tall, holding Kioma tightly. No, Nandi, you destroyed yourself. As Nandi was dragged out, she hissed, Cheek won't forgive you for this. Adora watched her go, a storm of emotions swirling inside. He doesn't need to. He'll face his own truth soon. Outside, as mother and daughter reunited under the Lagos sun, Adora's phone buzzed again. It was a voicemail. From Chaiki. His voice trembled. Adora! They're coming for me. I'm sorry. For everything. But if you think this is over, you're wrong. The line ended. Adora's eyes widened. Oh God, what has he done now? Night fell heavy over Lagos as thunder rolled across the skyline. The city's noise faded under the weight of scandal. Chike Obiano, once a symbol of power and success, was now a fugitive. Adora sat by the window of her modest apartment, watching raindrops slide down the glass. Kioma slept on the couch, still shaken but safe. Her phone buzzed again. A private number. Adora hesitated, then answered. Hello? A broken voice replied. Adora, it's me. Her breath caught. Cheek, where are you? I'm at the old construction site in Ikorodu, he said hoarsely. They froze everything. My partners, my accounts, my home. It's all gone. I just wanted to talk before I turned myself in. Adora was silent for a long time. After everything, you still think you can fix this with words? I didn't know, Ada. I swear I didn't know Nandi was using me, Cheek pleaded. She made me believe you were the problem. I was blinded by her. Adora's voice was calm but sharp. You were blinded by greed and pride, not love. There was a pause on the line. Rain crackled in the background. Maybe, he said quietly, but I miss you. I miss us. I ruined everything we built. Tears welled in her eyes. You didn't just ruin it, Chike. You burned it down. You humiliated me in public, made our son doubt me, and nearly cost our daughter her life. I can forgive, but I can never forget. Cheek's voice cracked. I deserve whatever comes. But before I go, I left something for you in my office. Top drawer, brown envelope. It's everything you need to reclaim the company. It's yours now. You built it as much as I did. Adora frowned. What are you saying? I'm done running, he said softly. I'll face the consequences. Maybe it's the only way to make peace. Before she could respond, she heard distant sirens through the phone. Cheeky sighed. They're here. Tell the kids I'm sorry. The call ended. The next morning, the news broke. Fallen billionaire Chike Obiano arrested, confesses to corporate fraud. Adora sat quietly as reporters filled the streets. When the EFCC confirmed Nandi's charges and Chike's cooperation, the scandal finally began to fade. Weeks passed. The Obiano company was transferred to Adora's name under government supervision. She visited Chike in prison once, his once proud eyes now hollow with regret. I'm sorry, he said again, voice shaking. Adora looked at him calmly. I believe you, but I've learned something. Chike, sometimes betrayal is the fire that reveals who we truly are. He lowered his head as tears streamed down his face. Outside, Adora stepped into the sunlight, feeling the warmth on her skin. Life was not what it used to be, but it was hers again. At home, Kioma and David ran to hug her. Laughter filled the air for the first time in months. She looked out over the Lagos skyline and whispered, God, thank you for turning my pain into strength. Meanwhile, across the border, in a small town in Botswana, a woman in dark glasses scrolled through her phone. Nandi, her lips curled into a smile as she whispered, Round 2. The end. Thank you for watching this powerful African marriage drama. Blinded by evil mistress, the billionaire husband abandoned his good wife. Then this happened. What lesson did you take from Adora's story of betrayal, strength, and revenge? Like this video if you believe justice always finds its way. Subscribe to Tales by Ola for more emotional African stories that touch the heart and keep you on the edge of your seat.